Hi, I'm Thea. Everyone said I was crazy when I opened the first restaurant in a desolate Miami warehouse district. Now the whole world knows that as Wynwood. Then I did it again in Alapata. Ever wonder how a place goes from not to hot? Join me for a behind-the-scenes look at what really goes into igniting a neighborhood. We'll talk with the risk takers, the pioneers, the restaurateurs, the real sparks of neighborhood ignition. This is Thea's Neighborhood Magic. Welcome to Thea's Neighborhood Magic. In this episode, I talk with Glendina Roseborough about her 15 years as Wynwood's ambassador on the streets. In 2009, I helped form the Women of Wynwood, a neighborhood group that created jobs for women from the Lotus House shelter to keep Wynwood clean. Glendina has been dedicated to her job and to the neighborhood. She has helped thousands of visitors over the years and is a highly valued member of the community. Well, I'm really excited to have Glendina Roseborough here with me. Very special guest. Glendina, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
Welcome. Thank you for being here with me. So, incredibly, Glendina, it's 15 years that we know each other now.
Yes.
15 long years.
15 years.
So, I would really like you to explain a little bit about how we met from your perspective. And
Okay. I was in a Lotus House. I was in a women's shelter, and I seen the flyer on the wall, and I had been to so many different job interviews, and none it was temporary and stuff like that. I said, let me see, let me go. And when they took us down to Joey's Pizzeria, met this lady named Thea.
it was a great day.
Yes.
And a lot of people came. I wonder what the flyer said, just like interview. Did you even know what you were coming to, or it was just a job that you thought, I'm going to just go?
Oh, it was a opportunity that I seen. If this here works, I get a chance to get some stability and get out of this place. Lotus House was the best. I had never been to a shelter, but it was the best experience I could have. It gave me stability, and it gave me that drive that I needed, to say you can take care of yourself.
Well, I just want to say, yep.
And you opened that door. You gave me that opportunity.
Well, I only gave you the opportunity, but you grabbed it, and I think made it the greatest success out of pretty much anything else. It's now 15 years, Glendina. Yeah. And you just went for it. That job was yours, right? Like no one else was home. We sat down at a table, and I knew it was an important moment. And I kept your application.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did. Wow. I kept your application because it really felt like it was an important moment. And I've had it all these years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to hire anybody who was just so much better than even the notes I made. I put reliable, flexible, intelligent, easygoing, will get along, strong, smart, all the way. And I'm amazed by how you made it yours. So we were lucky. We found you.
Oh.
I don't know if you know, but the community had got together and we needed help to clean the streets, and we needed people on the streets to be ambassadors for Wynwood because they were kind of lonely, right? The streets.
Yeah.
And we were
was they?
we were getting people in. And we didn't have any people to kind of hand out maps and water and keep everything beautified. And so you were the perfect ambassador for that.
Thank you.
And we really didn't know what we were doing, right?
Right.
Like when we got there, you didn't really know what you were coming to.
No, I didn't.
But you really took a chance and went for it. I don't know if you remember the first day that we tried our uniforms.
Yes. love that color.
This is you and Shauntina, right? Who was great, and she stayed with the job for 4 years.
Yes, she did. She hung in there.
We loved the color, but we knew so little. We thought we'd made these cute outfits, and they said the Women of Wynwood on the back, but they were scratchy, right? And they were hot. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, but I had bought a cart, like we were testing it. And the three of us went out with the first cart, and the wheel came off. One block into when the pavement was so broken, just snapped off, and we all just stood there. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's going to give up on me. I have no idea. We're going to clean the streets of Wynwood, but we really had to figure it out.
Yeah,
you have cared so much for that neighborhood, and I know that when you go, like, you're kind of an icon in Wynwood now. You go in and out of the cafes, like the baker and everything. Everybody. Hey, Miss Glendina.
A lot of them call me Mom.
A lot of them call you Mom.
Yeah, they call me Mom, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with that.
You know, this show is called Neighborhood Magic, and for me, when I think about Wynwood, like, you're really magic for me, being there all the time, and all these years you've been tending to those streets and helping people and showing people where to go.
Yes.
And you've seen the changes in Wynwood more and more up close than I think anybody else. What strikes you most about since you started those kind of very quiet early days? Was that must have been very scary compared to what is more scary, more people or less people?
Well, you know, it gets a little scary when it gets quiet in Wynwood right now, because we so used to
the bustle,
things happening.
Yeah.
You know, things happening. It's like, okay, what's happening? Is there something they're resting up for?
Did you ever feel? Did you see dangerous things?
Oh yes, oh yes. I think the time we was working in Soho, and the homeless people was on the street. And one guy just kind of appeared on the scene, and he sort of stood out. But I noticed everybody was shunning him. You know, never did say anything, but you can tell that he was a little, you know, special. Well, anyway, you know, he started talking. You know, he would say something to me, and he would ask for things. So I didn't mind. I have that. I give it to you. You know, I turned my back on him one day, and I didn't know he was having an episode. I was working. And he attacked me.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay. I don't know where this is going to go, but I do know that I have to defend myself.
What'd you do?
Yeah, the brooms. the brooms. But I didn't want to hurt him, but I didn't know if he was going to hurt me.
But you fought him off?
No, I called. I started hollering, and the construction workers came out and grabbed him.
Wow, how very scary.
Yeah.
Was that the only awful thing that happened?
Yeah, you see a lot of stuff around there, but you know, it's like mostly like at night when things are not, you know, when you know you're not from the neighborhood, because everybody is around here vibing, and you around here.
I get it.
Yeah, you know,
not vibing.
Right, you're looking for trouble.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes we be out there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Because that's when you start, right?
Right. Guys, people who done hung out, and to find them laying on the sidewalk, you know.
Do you pick them up and put,
yeah.
like with all the other stuff, and you pick it up and you put it aside? Hey, if you're going to be here lying on my sidewalk, you're out. Yeah.
Yeah, we picked them up and put them in their car or something like that, because they had a little bit too much fun.
So, Glendina, you know, when we had lunch last week, you told me that you've had about 8 family members come through that you've hired. You're kind of like the HR, the human resources, right? So your sister, cousins,
nephew,
college football player, right? I just think it's fantastic that you took this moment and made it yours, and you've helped the community so very much by being so stable with it. I love the story about Tina.
Oh,
You worked together, you came out of Lotus House together, and you worked with Tina for 4 years.
yeah.
And then you told me she moved to North Carolina.
No, she moved to Georgia.
She moved to Georgia, and she became a supervisor.
Yeah.
She had 4 years work experience.
Yeah.
And so she applied and became.
Yeah, she went in a hotel. And she worked there for a little while. We kept in touch, and then she called me like I didn't hear from her like 3 months. Then she called me one time, and she was like been a year since she was gone. And she says, "Guess what?" I said, "Well, go on Facebook. I'm a supervisor." I say, "Oh."
When you supervised her, I think.
Yeah.
I think that is. I know you miss Tina, but you've had your family around you.
Yeah.
I admire the way that you've stuck with things, and I think people could always use some words of wisdom and kind of anything inspirational to encourage people to stick with things. Is there anything that you would say to encourage people to do the same when you see an opportunity? It's kind of applicable to all of us.
Yeah, I would advise them when you get in a place, and you got people that works with you, to be faithful to them and be faithful to your job, and never go in there with a bad attitude, because your best day is your attitude.
I wrote notes, and I don't think I've ever seen you with a bad attitude. How it's been 100 degrees, it's been wet, it's been humid. How do you keep that amazing Glendina attitude going?
Yeah, I put everything that I have in God's hand. From the time I get up, I put that day in His hand. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do know I'm gonna come through it. And people says, "Come through it." They don't get it. Guess what? I say, "Come through it," not go through.
You're gonna come through.
I'm gonna come through this. I'm coming forward.
I gotta remember to tell myself that I'm gonna come through it.
I'm coming through.
I think that's great, Glendina. You created stability for yourself over 15 years. You've lived in the same place for
10 years.
Your sister lives next door.
Don't remind me.
We all have issues, right?
We all have issues.
And you take care of a particular part of Wynwood now.
Yes, the main section.
Yeah. So which streets are those?
Those are 2nd Avenue from 20th Street to 29th, anywhere in between 3rd and 5th and 1st. Really, we cover all that.
So should I tell everybody listening to pick up there?
Uh-oh. That'll help.
We're going to put that across the podcast, okay? Well, Glendina, I'm so happy to see you, and I want you to know that I'm sure you remember the article that came out. There was some article, and the headline was "Women Helping Wynwood." And little Jake, there was a great picture of us all.
Yes.
And I think Jake, my son, was like 9 or 10 years old when that came out. And he could only read it as women helping women. So he used to go around the house. And whenever I was leaving, I was coming to see you. He'd say, "Are you doing your women helping women thing?" And I always thought that was kind of the greatest title for it, because you thought I was helping you, but you were helping me, right? And we just kept it going.
Kept it going.
You made it a tremendous success, and it's really one of the proudest moments that I could do anything for my community. And if it weren't for you, it would never have been a success like that. You really made it huge. And David said the same thing. David Lombardi was here this morning, and he said, "Oh, that Glendina, she's amazing." And you are. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much. So
thank you.
Adrian, knowing that it is Miss Glendina's birthday on Sunday, we don't know. Adrian had a very clear memory of you.
Oh.
And you always leave an impression. Do you remember your song?
Let's give God some praise for the good things He's done.
Yes, I remember that.
Everything that happened.
How did he know that?
God told me.
Yes, he did. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, everything that happened to me, that was good, God. God did. Yes, he did. Oh, yes, he did. He picked me up, turned me all around, placed my feet on solid ground. Everything that happened
That was my favorite. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This episode was recorded at Wynwood Podcasting and produced by my friend Adrian Olivares. This episode is dedicated to Adrian's loving memory.